Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. It's Claytano. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. And we're back with another Dungeon Hunter Champions video. And today, I just kind of want to talk about the Dark Ranger because it's the event champion. Everybody gets one. And I've been having a lot of questions on my Twitch stream of like how to build it. Is it good? Is it bad? And I kind of just want to give you guys a summary of my thoughts on the Dark Ranger. Okay, now you can get it from the champion event. If you're watching this video and you've already missed it, feels bad for you, but not really that bad because I'll explain it here in a second. But basically you just, fight this dungeon, you get the pieces from the loot, and then you can summon the ranger and go from there. So honestly, I would just recommend getting it because you never know what might change in the future. So regardless whether it's good or bad, make sure you guys are getting at least one because you never know. All right. So as far as the actual champion itself, I do want to pull it up and go over the skills with you guys and kind of help you understand my thought process of how I kind of tell whether a unit is good or not. And so here's the Dark Ranger itself. I actually want to go to the Awakened form, or Ascended form, which is KACEY, okay? So pulling up the skills here, it's the base stats seem a little bit low even for a 3-star. So overall, the base stats are just one thing you want to take a look at. Those don't really have as much of an impact of the actual skills that the unit has, so let's just kind of take that with a grain of salt. But as far as the basic attack that it has, it's called Bullseye. It attacks the enemy from a distance. Every 4th attack is an automatic crit. So it's kind of nice where if you build it with a lot of attack speed and a lot of crit damage, that every 4th skill is going to be, doing a pretty good amount of damage. And then if you have a lot of crit rate already, then you're going to be doing damage on the ones leading up to it as well. Okay, so that's not a horrible first skill to have. Now, Burning Volley, this is actually quite nice. Okay, so it's the first skill. It fires a volley of arrows in a cone, damages enemies, and inflicts ongoing damage. Each enemy can only be affected once. Bonus damage is based on the attack speed. So this kind of pairs nicely with Bullseye, right? So if you're using attack speed shoulder pads on it, then it'll be doing more damage on Burning Volley, and it'll be also critting more, so that way you have more damage from the basic attack itself. Now, ongoing damage is super important for bossing for Elder Drake 10 as well as Steel Widow 10, so that right there in itself, between these two skills, are actually not too bad so far, actually going over it. Now, the second skill, Combat Roll, rolls in a direction and raises attack speed of herself and all nearby allies. So again, it raises attack speed. This one does damage based on attack speed, and then also attack speed is relevant on this, but it also increases the attack speed of all your other units that you're fighting with, which is pretty. Honestly, that's not bad at all. So this is a pretty good. The skill set is actually pretty nice. It kind of pairs well and everything kind of works together so far. So hopefully they, the last skill here lives up to everything else. And so this is called Lethal Shot. It fires a massive arrow in a direction, dealing damage to all enemies in a line. Bonus damage based on each enemy's missing HP. Okay, so this is more of like a AoE type thing where you're shooting an arrow, it goes through one and it kind of goes all the way through the line, and it deals bonus damage on each enemy's missing HP. So the more it's like dead almost, the more damage it's going to do, which is kind of an interesting it's an interesting last skill. But mainly actually these 3 skills right here are actually pretty nice because it could probably actually replace a huge unit that a lot of people are building, which is the Nature Valkyrie. But let's talk and see if it can actually replace it or not. So this lowers defense, this lowers attack, and then this increases attack speed. So the attack speed is nice, the lowers attack is nice, but this is so this actually is the same as the other skill. It raises attack speed, but this right here, this lowers defense. You can get that from Xenia. So if you're looking to replace your Nature Valkyrie and you already have a Xenia which does the lowers defense on her basic attack, then the Dark Ranger could actually be a nice replacement for the Nature Valkyrie because it also does damage over time. So the only thing you're missing out then on is the lower attack damage, which is honestly, this is kind of important when you're bossing, but the Dark Ranger could potentially replace it if you're trying to do faster runs rather than safer runs. I think that the Nature Valkyrie could do safer runs because it has the lowers attack, but then you also need to find a different unit to put on ongoing damage because this doesn't do it, and you absolutely absolutely have to have ongoing damage on at least 2 units, I would say, to have some nice fast Elder Drake or Steel Widow teams. And honestly, so at this point, just based on the skills and stuff that I've looked over right now, it's actually not as bad as a lot of people think it is. It's not as bad as a lot of people think it is because it has everything that kind of just plays well together. It's going to do a lot of damage, and actually, yeah, it's not bad. I would probably build it once I go ahead and get mine. I would probably build it with attack speed, shoulder pad, of course, and then I would go crit damage, glove. I would probably do just attack power bracer, attack percent bracer, and then I would go adept, and I would either go adept or rapid set, but I think adept would be better so that way you can do more ongoing damage, but rapid set is probably the recommended set. And then I'd probably do keen. I'd probably just do keen or precise as far as the offset would go with those 4 sets, whether it's rapid set or adept set. So yeah, overall, I'm actually not that disappointed in KACEY, especially since it's the first unit that they give us as a free nice LD unit from this like event type thing that they're doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and start farming up mine, and from what I've heard, you do get a lot of gold from these dungeons as well, so it's a nice way to farm gold if you're trying to figure out how to do that as well. And aside from that, guys, hopefully this helps you guys out. If you do have any questions, go ahead and drop them down below. Also, if you comment on the video, you are entered into win the giveaway, so make sure you guys are doing that. And aside from that, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, stay soupy, don't be potatoes, and I will see you guys next time. All right, peace.
I run away.